VoyMonk vlog number 87. I'm going to steal a line from a movie. I actually can't remember. I think I can't remember the name. Something about Angus or whatever, or the grandfather who's played by George C. Scott, who's a terrific actor. If you ever get a chance to see some of his works, he's pretty great, pretty good. But anyways, I believe in the film, and hopefully my memory isn't failing me too badly at this age, but he he made a mention about his younger grandkid, his grandson, who was afraid to kind of be himself. He was kind of fat and not really well liked, not a popular kid or whatever, and he had wanted to go to I think it was called Waiting for Angus or something like that. He was trying to take out the girl to the prom, who was considered the belle of the ball, so to speak. I mean, she was really pretty. She was the girl that actually was in Jurassic Park, the first one. I forgot her name. I can't think of it top of my head. But anyways, he had somehow gotten a date or dated her, or, they agreed to go to the prom with one another. And he was supposed to wear this purple suit and all that sort of thing. Like I said, I think it was called Waiting for Angus. I think it's a good film. Get a chance, check it out. It's definitely a good story. Anyways, the grandfather, but he imparted some wisdom onto his grandson, basically kind of pointing out a pretty stark and I think important detail about Superman, actually, and that Superman can't be brave. Superman, it came into question about the whole hero aspect, and his point was that Superman can't really be brave because, for the most part, Superman can't be killed. He can't be hurt. He can't be injured. He doesn't put anything really on the line, so to speak. So, in terms of actual overall loss, he doesn't have any. And, well, I mean, there's certainly some things you could argue. I mean, kryptonite and all that kind of thing. But for the most part, he can't really be brave because he's never putting anything on the line. He's never risking anything. He's never challenging anything. And over this being probably a very simplistic way of kind of making a point, and from a perspective that is best I know, I think this is true. And I think this is a really eloquent way to kind of place that in the film. I don't know that it was a terribly successful film in terms of commercial, but it was a good film and I enjoyed watching it. But I enjoyed it mostly because of what I said. I mean, it had a heartwarming story, but it had some pretty simple wisdom like the one that I just mentioned. Like I said, you could certainly argue it. I'm not saying that you can't, but I think it's a pretty interesting perspective in that, yeah, I don't think Superman can really be brave. Not in the context that if he's, faster than a speeding bullet and can't be hurt, can't be killed, and can be anywhere and do almost anything he wants. Where's the bravery in that? If you're not challenging things, if you're not putting things on the line, and I'm certainly no hero, I could say some might even consider me a coward in that respect. But when you're actually putting something on the line, it's certainly important. And I think it bears recognition and maybe even a little bit of admiration, because we are all vulnerable. We all have things that can happen to us, and when we do things that scare us, there's oftentimes risks. I understand that this is knowledge. Like I said, knowledge in itself isn't necessarily power. It's something you can navigate, and it isn't necessarily something that you're always going to act upon. But it is this. I do think that when I look at kind of the state of the world today, and specifically my channel in it, that is probably the thing that I think is important in terms of being one's authentic self, whether it's me or anyone else. Because the truth of the matter is that people can be torn to shreds for any reason, whether it's just being themselves or not being who everyone else thinks they ought to be. And I kind of think about that, going forward in today, and, kind of wonder in terms of, where we find courage and what that means sometimes. I think for me, like I said, I don't really care much about being a hero, but I do consider the fact that, yeah, I understand every person's struggle is their own and unique to them. And I don't necessarily hold myself up to standards, whether they be one direction or another. I just, for the most part, seek to try to do the best I can with what I have and enjoy the ride. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, maybe you are too. So that's what I'm thinking about on this vlog. Until next time, take care.